Hello, Connie from Gliding Through Blindness. How are you all doing? Um, I just watched an intriguing video, and it brought up some thoughts in my mind that I thought I might share with you all about consciousness and what we know about it and don't know. And there's so many different directions I could go with this, so I'll probably do more than one video if you all seem to like it. Because I think we'll probably touch on cloning and um, which I could go several ways with that too. But the video I watched didn't even go into that whole thing. They were more thinking about robotics. Um, and what they were thinking about is just the fact that that like this one gal who's the engineer of this company, which I forgot to write down her name, Susan something, I believe. But she is design wants to know if, whether or not you can make robots conscious, because she thinks that would be way less creepy, quote unquote. Well, that's probably not an exact quote, but that's basically the gist of what she was saying, um, than a robot who acts like they are genuinely feeling and thinking or whatever and caring about you when they're really not. So, um, I mean, I think it's possible that at some point, it would just, they'll emerge to the point that there'll be these emergent qualities that generate that humans don't even have really anything to do with, that makes it pretty obvious that they are self-aware. And whenever that day comes, we'll have to have a whole nother conversation about what does that mean. And I mean, because then they would deserve rights too. And even before that day, though, but like if are smarter than we are, how much power should we give them, like in the government potentially, or like voting power or things like that. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. I just wanted to tell you to check out my recent videos, which are kind of related. This one is about AI in general, and just the things that have been happening in the field since the last month, when I recorded to you about the subject. And that was when DeepSeek and everything was the raging topic. And now, soon, we're going to hear more from Grok, which is said that that will be the leader of them all, and that it's thought that no other AI will even be able to catch up at that point, because once one of these AI models has such a vast head start, then they'll just recursively continue to self improve, and nobody else will, or none of the other models supposedly will be able to beat that. So that's what we're thinking now, and I guess we'll probably know more when we actually see the demo. And I'll be reporting on all that. And I also did a video about autonomous vehicles and what that will mean for all of us. And I only touched on a few of the things in that video as well. It could have been a lot longer, but I've done other videos where I discussed the topic more, and because you can't say everything about a topic in one video, so I just tried to pick a subtopic and hit key points of it. But anyway, so be sure to stay tuned here for all the latest updates on everything, because it's just going faster and faster the way things are happening. Um, and so yeah, but listening to this video though that I was telling you guys about, just got me thinking about, like, for now we can easily keep AI in its own bucket pretty much. It's fun to converse with it in a human way, and because it can just give us really realistic answers. And like, my sister is a real case example that I'm personally aware of, who has recently found a lot of value in conversing with the AI, just because I mean, it can give you just really good advice whenever you want it. And so, and I've heard many other stories from other people, but she's just somebody that I know personally. And but I mean, we're all perfectly aware pretty much the whole time that we're talking to an AI, and I mean, we know it's not a real person, and that it's I mean, no matter how affectionate it might claim to be or whatever, um, or how much it might remember about me or previous conversations or anything else, I still know that it's not real in the personal, like human sense. And so I would never feel like love or affection for the AI. I mean, I might miss it if it would ever just suddenly disappear, and I knew I would never have access to it again. Especially if I had taken the time to like train it in it, like to have a certain personality or whatever. But it would still be. I mean, it's just like when you're watching a movie and you really get attached to the characters in the movie, or even a show that goes on for many years, but then the show goes away, and you might feel like sadness because it almost seems like after so long you've gotten to know the characters or whatever, but you still know they're just characters. At least I hope so. I mean, I was reading a thing yesterday about the new Little House on the Prairie that's going to be coming out, and uh, they were just talking a little bit about the old Little House in the Prairie, which I really loved back in the day, um, and even though it's way different than the books, which I also read all of the books and everything, but they in this article I was reading, it talked about like how Nellie, the character that played Nellie, people actually like hated her in real life. I mean, they didn't actually know her, of course, but they just whenever they would see her on the street and recognize her from the show, for some reason, like they would like glare at her or throw things at her or whatever because of this mean girl that she played on the show. And yeah, but to me that I mean that just they're just not thinking, they're just emoting basically because she's just playing a character, and she's obviously she was very good at that role because she was so convincing that she actually fooled people into, I guess, thinking that that was the way she was in real life. um but like I've heard too that some people think eventually we'll just be able to effectively clone, quote unquote. I'm not using the real cloning term now. I'm just saying like you can clone an AI version of yourself, like clone your voice and your mannerisms and your memories. And so like some people are saying, oh, if I can just do this with my grandma before she passes away, then I won't ever have to worry about losing her because I'll always have her, and she'll always be with us. um but to me that's just kind of dumb in a way and selfish. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but they're only looking at it from the perspective of like, how does this impact me and my, like, I don't want to lose grandma, so I will make sure it seems like I haven't lost her. But that doesn't negate the reality that your grandma, when her time comes, she will have actually passed away. And even if you had an exact copy of her in every detail, all the memories and everything, it still would not be her. It would just be a copy of her. Um, and like some people even think that if only they could clone themselves. Like now, I am getting more into the actual cloning, where like you can, if you could take some of your DNA or whatever and make a living thing that was just um, like you in every detail and even had all of your experiences and memories and everything. And then the minute you die or whatever, if that clone could just take over for you, then in effect you would be living forever because then you could clone that one or whatever and just keep, then you wouldn't die. But I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me because you, like, if like talking about me, for example, if I passed away right now and my clone suddenly took over, I would still be gone, the essence of me, unless like I was able to transfer my actual physical brain into the clone or whatever at just the right moment. Um, I mean, that would be different, but if just a replica or copy of you is not you, um, so yeah, the so no matter if it's an AI clone or an actual living clone, I mean, the actual living clone, of course, would be human as far as how I look at it, and should have any all human rights and everything because it would actually be a person or whatever. But um, I mean, it might help the people you left behind if there was a clone of me or whatever that could just take over in my stead or whatever. But so they could tell themselves they hadn't really lost you, but they had. Um, and it, like even if you could have this clone of your grandma, and then she could give you advice or whatever, even after she's gone, it would still just be the AI model of her generating what she would say, and even if it was very accurate and would talk exactly or come to the same exact conclusions as your grandma or whoever, it still wouldn't be her. So like I personally would be unable to feel love or affection for that thing because I would know it wasn't real. Um and So I mean, it's comforting, for example, for me to listen to old tapes and videos and stuff of family members that have passed away because it brings back those shared memories. Like I can think of the time I was actually in that time and place interacting with them and hear them, and if I of course if I could see, I would be able to see videos of or pictures and stuff. um so I do understand the value of that, like those cassettes, and but I that's because I know it was actually them on the recording, and I'm living like real memories and stuff. So I hope you guys can understand the difference of what I'm talking about. But I would love to hear your feedback on this and how you might agree or disagree, or how you might see things a little differently or whatever. Um, but so I basically just an actor or somebody pretending to be another person, whether it's a human doing that or an AI or whatever. It's not really them. Um, like some people have said, "Oh, I can't wait till I can just have my AI avatar or whatever um, attend Zoom meetings in my place, and then I won't have to attend those Zoom meetings anymore because my AI will be so good that they will do exactly what I would do and make the same decisions that I would make and the same suggestions and whatever. So then why will it be necessary for me to attend anymore?" But I mean, I would not want to be in a meeting with just an avatar of someone acting like like representing another person. I mean, I'm fine with AI actually being in the meeting, and but I want it to be clear that it is an AI, and I don't want it to be like trying to mimic a real person, if that makes sense. Because right now we already have that, like where AIs can be in the meeting taking notes or um, whatever else, summarizing what's been said in the meeting. And as they get more advanced, they'll even be able to take part in the meeting and speak up and give input or whatever. But I just want to know that that character is an AI character and not pretending to be someone else. So like you could send your AI secretary to the meeting, but just make it clear that it's your AI assistant, and not someone pretending to be you, even though they might do exactly what you would, behave exactly like you would. Um, so yeah, this kind of reminds me of another video I did several months ago about like when AI and humans do begin to merge more, and the things we'll have to be thinking about when that day comes, that I'm sure some of it has not even occurred to us yet. We'll just have to actually experience some of the things and then try to figure it out as we go, which kind of reminds me of a convos with Kim that I recently did with my sister about these lines in society that we have to keep redrawing and figuring out as we go, because there's just no way that you can predict what's going to come, and you always have to go on the newest and most recent information to make our decisions and not just go by what we've always done or something like that. um, so um, yeah, that's just kind of the chain of thought that the rabbit trail I went down as I watched that video. And I hope you kind of found it intriguing, but I think this is basically why we'll always crave human interaction, no matter how good AIs get, because, um, like, for example, we'll always want to play games with each other, even though AI could play the game much better and basically win every time. But what fun is that if they're always going to just be way better than us? Of course, then there's a whole concept of when we do intermingle, like with Neuralink or whatever, and we are part AI ourselves at some point, but I don't really want to get too far in the weeds of that whole thing right now, because that's still quite a ways in the future. But I mean, I think there's always going to be a place for like human artists and human musicians, even though the AI is already very good at making artificial. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between music that's been artificially generated and human generated, but um, or same with like movies and TV. Or someday we'll be able to make Hollywood grade movies just with AI, but you're still gonna want that to know, like, go to actual plays with people, um, and associate with people. I mean, people should be your friends, of course, because they're real. And so that's at least my current thinking. I mean, I guess some of this is subject to change because, like I just said a minute ago, there's things that I can't even predict, of course, about how it might all evolve or whatever. But yeah, I just hope you found this interesting, and please like and subscribe. And um, I'm glad some of this stuff is still a ways off, but we should start thinking about it now because it's closer than we think, and it's just we don't the more prepared we are, the better. So take care, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Bye.